Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, real estate fans, and avid listeners alike. Thanks so very much for tuning into Real Estate Radio this morning. I'm your host, Erik Hatch with Hatch Realty, and if you ever want to stop by and see us, we are located at 1205 16th Avenue South in Fargo. We are kitty corner from CJ's Kitchen, so if you're having some pancakes, why don't you have some pancakes and then come and buy a house? It's the perfect combination of flapjacks and homes. So you can find us 1205 16th Avenue South in Fargo. But at the top of the hour here, I think it's important to share with you some information that's happening in the market today. In fact, we find ourselves in a bit of a precarious situation. Our stats have come out now, year to date from January until the end of May, now that it's June, and we continue to have a housing shortage. Now, those of you that are looking for houses under $300,000, I think you really feel that pinch. That's where we see in every category that we're running out of houses. There's less houses listed this time this year than there was this time last year in that price range. And so a lot of you maybe listen to the show and say, well, of course I'm not going to move, because if I find myself needing to get another house, I'm going to have to compete and yada yada. What it comes down to is this, is if you own a house under $300,000, you're probably going to get more money today than you ever could have in the history of Fargo-Moorhead and West Fargo. So that's an exciting thing to put that kind of cash in your pocket. But here's the opportunity here. If you're looking for a house, your next place over $300,000, because the market changes above $300K. In fact, there's more houses on the market now over $300,000 than there was this time last year. So that's the softer part of the market. And in fact, in studio with us later today, we're going to have Jason Plecity of Plecity Kowalski Construction, and we're going to talk specifically about that, about why there's so much inventory on the market right now, and realistically, how you can take advantage of that as a home buyer and somebody who's shopping. So if you're considering moving up, you actually have the exact right time frame and the right opportunity and the right climate for you, because your house, if you got to sell it, is going to get you more cash than you ever could, and then in that next move up market you probably have an opportunity to find a deal. So let's get you a deal. I want to talk with you. 369-4839, or head to livefargomoorhead.com to find out what your home is worth in today's market. But first things first, let's find out what's happening with real estate news this week.
Go.
Okay, friends, in studio with us, as promised, Mr. Jason Plecity of Plecity Kowalski Construction. So good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
First time on the radio, right?
Yes, it is.
Are you nervous? Yeah, you look great. You did your hair today. Everything is perfect and set up and ready to go. Those of you that can't see, Jason and I share the same hairstyle, and that is receding.
That would be correct.
Jason, you've been building houses how long now? Because you guys have been in the market, it seems like forever.
Yeah, I mean, in the mid-90s we partnered up, and we've been building strong ever since. We've only increased our business as the years have gone along. We were actually building houses, apart before that. I started in 1987.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, we're down in South Fargo, and that whole industry has been just going crazy.
So you've seen the rise and fall of a start. Because if you started building in 87, that was a tough market, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a little slower. There was not a lot of stuff going on. The rates were just starting to come back down from that crazy rates.
It was 10, 11% or so in the mid-80s. So you've now jumped in and you've ridden the waves, right? And how have you and your partner Tim stayed in business so long?
Well, a lot of it is word of mouth and repeat customers. We do a lot of it hands-on. So I mean, we're able to do that, and we have our own subcontractors, so keep a lot of that stuff with the quality. And a big part of it is, people go through our homes at a price range of say $500, and they'll go through another house at that same price range, and they'll like the quality's way different.
And why is that? If I'm an avid home buyer, or even if I'm a novice and stepping in, why would I be able to step into a PK house instead of a generic company's house? And why will I get a better value in yours?
Well, and a lot of those trim guys that are doing my work and helping me out, I mean, a lot of those guys have their own businesses, so they know how it works. I mean, they're paid by the hour, not by the square foot, the piece, just to rush in and get it done. So we find that the quality's way better.
Okay, so you pay attention to the little things, to the details. And then you also mentioned, Jason, that you have your own subcontractors. Why is that a benefit for the home buyer?
Well, we do a lot of upper end housing, so like our own plumbing business, for example. I mean, we can supply our own fixtures, we can buy all that stuff direct. which the customer can save a ton. I mean, they're doing custom showers, steamers, and with the undermount sinks we do in all our houses standard. They just get that for a way better buy.
So there's savings instantaneously by going with PK Construction, correct?
Absolutely.
So again, in studio with us, we have Jason Plecity of Plecity Kowalski Construction, and we're talking about building homes. You are a complete custom shop, right? Do you ever build the same house twice?
No, I mean, we'll have similar. We have plan books that people come in and check out of all of our different homes, and they may like this kitchen or this master, and we draw up each plan from scratch. So we don't have a name plan. We draw up just the plan for that person.
So I think that there's a big hesitation and fear for the consumer if they hear that. Every time we hear custom, it's always going to cost more for a custom suit than it is for a suit off the rack. And so if it's the same with houses, does it cost a lot more for a custom house to get it drawn up in the first place? You have to pay for that, and then you have to pay for every last change that you make. Am I right on that, or am I a little bit off?
No, there's no charge for the blueprinting. Sitting down with them, getting a plan together, just going through their needs. Every family's different, and that's just part of the home build. I mean, there's not any extra charge for any of that. And if it doesn't work, the plan, well, then we can start over on another plan and go through the process that way. So it actually works pretty well.
And so, Jason, you said no charge.
Nope, there's no charge for that.
Why aren't more people doing that? If somebody wants to build a house, and what I love about PK is that you were wise enough in the last few years to snatch up lots in every development. That seems to be out there.
We have a lot of inventory, and that's worked. Even like a couple of years ago when the market was started to get a little softer, it's increased tremendously now. Where we have a lot of lots, and there's a lot of lots available in the Fargo-Moorhead area to build right now.
Because that's one of the big precarious situations that people find themselves in, is maybe they'll say, I want to build with this builder, and I want to be in this neighborhood. And oftentimes it doesn't match up for people, does it?
Right, and we need to have lots in every development and have really good relationships with the developer. That's really key.
You operate at high volume, and yet you're still a small shop. And I think that that's a great blend, because you were wise enough, and you have, 100 lots or so out there right now, Jason?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
A huge opportunity. So if if you're listening right now and you're thinking maybe I should build a house, or I want to make that next step, I want to take advantage of the situation we find ourselves in this market, I'd encourage you to reach out to Jason at PK Construction. He can get you in the right lot. He can build the dream house that you've ever wanted, and get this, it costs you nothing to dream. It'll cost to build, but it costs you nothing to dream. Is that fair?
That's right, yeah, and we can sit down with you and get a plan together.
Great. Well, Jason, in Sunday's paper here today, you are also featured with one of our agents from our office. His name's Brandon Rayborn, and he chose to build with you, right?
Correct.
Why?
He looks at other houses, and he's been through homes, and it worked out, and he was very good to work with. We've did some other stuff with you guys, it's worked well together, and so yeah.
So, what a stamp of approval and a seal of approval for a realtor who sees houses every day to say, I want you to build my house. So congratulations on earning that business, and you have earned it. Your work stands the test of time, so bravo.
Thank you.
Jason, if somebody wants to contact you, how can they do so?
356-4001 is our office number, and we're located in South Fargo. You can look us up on our website, PlecityKowalski.com.
All right, 356-4001. Jason, thanks for being in studio with us. Listeners, stick around. We're going to have a lot more coming up after the break. But in the meantime, go to livefargomoorhead.com and check out some houses on today's market. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio. As always, I'm your host, Erik Hatch. And it's time now for the Erik Hatch team's Picks of the Week here on Real Estate Radio. Each week we talk about those screaming deals in the market that I don't want you to miss out on. And today, let's talk luxury. That's right, the beautiful houses out there that people talk about, that people ooh and ah about. And realistically, you can jump into one of these places, make it your own, have a dream house, and you can do so at a pretty great bargain price. So let's start in South Fargo in the Rose Creek neighborhood. This is the most luxurious, expensive house for sale in the entire state of North Dakota. 2043 Rose Creek Boulevard South. If you've ever golfed on the Rose Creek Golf Course, you know the house I'm talking about. $2.75 million gets you all these amenities. An indoor pool, spa, jacuzzi, hot tub, steam room, 2 kitchens, 10 bathrooms, 6 bedrooms, 4 laundry rooms. I could go on and on about this house, but you need to go online and see this house. We have a virtual tour that'll walk you right through. So if you've wanted to see what 18,000 square feet of house really looks like, and you want to see how some people with luxury live, you got to check out this house. Now, if you're not into newer and modern, because that's what this house is, I have a place for you, and it's on historic 8th Street, 708 8th Street South. This house is the one that you'd see in magazines. This is the house that looks like it's pulled out of, I'd say, Charleston, South Carolina, or North Carolina. I'm probably getting my states wrong here. But it's pulled out, and this has incredible character. The house is over 115 years old, and yet it's been completely redone. Over 3,000 square feet, and yet every inch has been gutted and started over from scratch. But the owners have had this immaculate sense of style and taste and detail. And so you're going to be in there thinking, this house is classic and nothing's been changed with it. It all looks as though it's of that era, but it's all brand new. Imagine having the old, beautiful, historic home for $749,000 and not having to deal with the headache of old. It's a perfect combination. Finally, if you want luxury and if you love lakes country, let's go to Battle Lake, Minnesota. 32262 Stalker Lake Trail in Battle Lake, Minnesota, just outside of Fergus Falls. For $565,000, you're going to have maybe the fanciest place on that entire lake. An absurd amount of space, 6 acres. This 2-story home has over 3,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. This is a year-round place, and I encourage you to go see it or to look at it online. If you want to do so, go to livefargomoorhead.com, or to have your own home featured on Real Estate Radio, give us a call at 369-4839. This is an awkward thing for me to talk about, but with RIPFest wrapping up in town, I have to say that I need to talk and make a confession. So this is True Confessions with Erik Hatch. I always had this idea that I was going to get married, and I found this wonderful woman, and her name's Emily, and she fortunately said yes. But I had this idea that I was going to propose to her on her birthday at this outdoor concert under the fireworks, out with all of her friends, listening to 32 Below, this great country act. And what never conceptualized in my head was that I was at RibFest. And so when I proposed to my wife, I did so at RibFest, I believe between the deep fried Oreos and the porta potties. That was how I proposed to my wife. I'm not proud. I certainly am proud of my life and my wife and my family, but I had this idea in my head that something was great, and then I didn't follow through with it, and it really didn't work out. And I think that's a lot of people in real estate. Here's my transition, but it makes sense in my head. I hope it does in yours as well. Is you get this idea of what's right and what's great, and oftentimes we don't think about the environment and the situation that we find ourselves in. So realistically, I think location is king, is what I'm trying to get at. And those of you who are wrestling with the idea of real estate or trying to do something wonderful for your family and your life, it always starts with location. Because everything else can be right. The amenities, the environment, the size, everything can be spot on. But if the location's not right, it's always going to be that RibFest story for you. At least it is for me, right? I had this idea that I was going to do this wonderful thing, and it was going to be so romantic and fun and under the fireworks and all these great things. And when I look back on the story, I was at RibFest. And nothing's wrong with RibFest. I plan on enjoying and feeding my face for years to come there at that place. But it's not the right location for what I was looking for. And so for you that's considering buying a house or selling a house, let's put location first. Let's put that at the top of the list and know that we as your realtors will fight for you to get the right location, because the rest of the story can be written if you have the right spot. So let's talk about how to find you the right spot at 369-4839 or head to livefargomoorhead.com. All right, everybody, we're almost out of time. I do want to close with a couple of final thoughts. First off, if you love saving money, welcome to the party. And if you love saving money, we have an opportunity for you to do so. Not only with our Hatch's Heroes discount, so if you're a veteran, a firefighter, a police officer, if you work in healthcare or education, we can save you $495 on each side of your real estate transaction. So if you're buying and selling, we can save you close to $1,000 just by working with us with our Hatches Heroes program. Go to livefargomoorhead.com to find out more details about that. But more importantly, if you love saving money, hiring the right realtor is going to do that for you. On the buy side, I talked at the top of the hour of how the market's really tight, under $300,000. But our realtors and myself are trained and experts. We are ninjas here in this community to try and get you the best possible deal by maneuvering, by getting the right escalations, and by protecting yourself so that you can move forward on a house. It's a big deal, and if we can save you some cash, that's huge. In addition, if you're thinking about selling, boy, I have some tricks, I have some tactics, and I have some abilities to get you an absurd amount of money for your house. If not, you can fire us at any time. 24-hour contract is all we ask for so that we can get moving forward. So put your trust in us on that, and I think we'll do you really well. The second and final thing is this. I want to say thank you to the people who helped us make May our biggest month ever in real estate. We shattered some ceilings and some numbers and some statistics that we never thought we could. And so we continue to break our own personal records. And that's because great people like you are putting your trust in us. So thanks so much for that. We hope you continue to do so. And so if you want to be that next success story for us, and we'd love to share your story with people on air, give us a call at 369-4839 or head to livefargomoorhead.com. And that's it. Thanks so very much for listening to Real Estate Radio. I've been your host, Erik Hatch, on the Mighty 790 KFGO.